Mikey and Rinne stay in. Oh yeah.
Brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, welcome to Mikey and Rinne Stay In. I'm Mike.
Oh, I see what you did there, and I'm Rinne.
And So, we're back. This is episode 11, part 2. Part deuce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a super special guest last week, and we are continuing with that super special interview this week. So, Crystal, we adore you. We love your story. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed, and we hope that you enjoy the second edition.
Yeah, so, she told some, A, really personal stories, B, just some things that I'd never heard of before, never thought of before.
No, the whole D&E procedure.
Yeah, if you didn't listen to the last episode, you really should. She's wonderful. She's just like very self-effacing, very self-aware, and she knows a lot about a lot.
Decisive.
Yeah, and also decisive in like a sense that you don't really hear women being in the health field a lot. I think there's a lot of stories of women feeling like, oh, the doctor told me to do this or that, and she was like, fuck no, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, boom.
Yeah, she really did. I think that's what was so impressive about her, that whole story, was that she really made a decision. She's able to talk about it with such clarity. Yeah, and I just really appreciated that, because I think there is a lot of us, I don't know that this is just women, but I think a lot of people feel once they get into a medical situation that they can't be advocates for themselves, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And she is.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Speaking of being an advocate for yourself, our dog Abby in the background is basically going down on herself for like the last 3 minutes. So. Advocate for pleasure.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we just returned from a terrarium making class.
Yeah. Well, and full disclosure, not that we just live in Portland and of course we're at a fucking terrarium making class, but this was something that I got for us after the miscarriage. And I thought, what a beautiful metaphor to build something together. That was
something that you're going to have for your entire lives, potentially.
That's going to self-perpetuate. Terrariums are really cool. We learned a lot about them. And they're amazing. Like the one that we have, we either have to water it 6 months, a year, or maybe never, depending on the fact of how tight the seal is. And it's what?
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a whole little microcosm inside of this very large piece of glass. You should go get it.
I will. And just to be clear, we are not I don't know, you can see in our house there's some things if you're on YouTube, but those are dead, those are dried flowers. We kill air plants. So this is something I'm really excited about. So you keep talking about things.
We started off the evening a little shaky, perhaps. Mikey and I had not had a great evening together, I will say. We had a disagreement.
We did have a disagreement.
We had a disagreement, and he was like, "I'm just going to cancel it," because he really wanted us to bring ourselves to this terrarium making in a particular way, which I really appreciate, because it was sort of this symbolic thing that we were going to do together. Yeah, those of you listening with your eyes, check that shit out.
And if this, hold on, I'm going to talk over there.
Yeah, let me just describe it to those of you that are listening. So it's a really, really large, bulbous piece of glass that sort of looks like sea glass, kind of, right? So it's sort of...
It's like the size of a fucking huge pumpkin.
Yes, a very large pumpkin. It would win at the county fair.
Definitely.
And so it's almost got this, sort of spherical shape, right?
Yeah.
And then on the top, so it gets much smaller at the top, and the thing that's sealing it is this David Bowie-like, a la the Labyrinth crystal ball.
Yeah.
It's so fabulous.
And if you live anywhere near us, come over and you can look through the orb on the top and it's like you're on every drug. Look, it's fucking awesome. It's great.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
It's so cool. And this thing, it's like, the classes, it's called Roosevelt? How do you pronounce that?
Sure.
I feel like a dickhole when I say Roosevelt. But yeah, Roosevelt's terrariums on Hawthorne in Portland. And yes, it is the most Portland thing that you can do, maybe. Like if you unicycled to this place and then did it.
Yeah.
Right. But it was awesome. And I don't know, there's something about it that I just find so like magical. And we made this together and like we're trying to make a baby and it just makes me like, I love you and I love this. Yeah.
I love you too.
I'm sorry that we had a disagreement before.
Well, but I think it was...
This healed it.
Yeah, it really did. And I just appreciated you saying that, you wanted to come to it in a particular way. And really, it felt like we were sort of reflecting and building something together. It was really super special.
I love it. Well, this is what we want to do with our Mercy peeps, with our Mikey and Rinne stay-in peoples. We want to build something with you. We want something that's like self-perpetuating, that can grow, and you can tell us yours.
Metaphor.
Yeah, you like that? You can tell us your stories. We'll keep telling you ours, and we'll have some laughs. We'll have some cries. Fart on the microphone together every once in a while.
Perfect.
Okay.
So don't forget to like and subscribe.
Please.
And send us your thoughts. Let's eat at mikeyandrinnestayin.com. We will be so excited to hear from you, truly.
Yeah, we love that. And so without further ado, here's part 2 of Crystal and our conversation.
Yes.
See you guys later.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, let's, why don't you take us through getting pregnant for the second time and what that experience was like for you?
Great.
Round 2.
Second time, I was not trying to have a baby, but my doctor always likes to say, if you're having unprotected sex, you are trying to have a baby.
That's really good. Yeah.
I guess I was trying to have a baby, but there was no stress about it. So this was a year ago. This was 2018, and it was very strange. I had a headache, and I had sex, and I woke up the next day so sick. So sick. I had no inkling that I was pregnant, so I was taking codeine like a mother because I was in bed for 5 days. I don't think I've ever been that sick.
Wow.
It was just a bad flu. So bad, my husband gets it. We're in bed for like 5 days. We haven't left our house. I'm like literally just trying to suppress my cough. I'm so sick. I get out of bed to go lay down elsewhere. I was just a wreck. Well,
that's really good sex. I feel like if you're gonna have, I fucked myself into a flu.
It was like an exorcist.
I was possessed.
I became possessed. Yes, I purged it. I purged it all out. It was awful. And then I missed my period, and I was like, okay, great. Now, this time around, I don't even know. So I took a pregnancy test and it was negative. And I'm like, well, that's weird because my cycle is regular. What's going on? I also was really sick. So you know what? Maybe it's just I'm out of whack. So I waited a few days. I took another one. Still negative. I'm like, okay. And I think at the time those were like the ones from a year before. So I'm like, oh, they must be old.
It's old and defective. Yeah.
I'm like making excuses. I go get another one, still negative. And I just thought, okay, this is weird. I don't have my cycle and I have negative, like a collection of negative tests.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, I think I waited like a few days or a week later, and then it was positive. And I was like, that's so weird. And I didn't do anything. I'm like, you know what? It's I don't know. At this point, I'm 6 weeks, 7 weeks. And I decide to wait until like I did last time, my first ultrasound was around 9-10 weeks. I figured, I know I'm pregnant. What is there to do with a doctor? I want to minimize my ultrasound. So here's the second pregnancy. And I'm like, I don't need an ultrasound. I know I'm pregnant.
Right.
Well, it's kind of blurry, but I feel what started to happen was I started to spot and cramp. And I had already a doctor's appointment in place, but I had not attended a doctor's appointment yet.
Okay.
So I started to spot, and I had never had this problem, right? The first pregnancy I aborted. So if I hadn't aborted, there was nothing, I didn't feel anything wrong, nothing in the sense of physiologically releasing anything red or anything just weird. So I start to spot, and then I start to freak out because I'm like, I talked to my doctor friend, and he's like, the one that did the procedure is like, well, you could have a ectopic pregnancy. And if you have an ectopic pregnancy, this could be serious. Like, you could bleed to death. And I'm like, well, how does one know when to go to the doctor? I don't know. It's like, well, if the cramps start to get severe and you start to hemorrhage, and I'm like, well, I'm not hemorrhaging, I'm just lightly spotting, but spotting can be normal in a pregnancy. Some women have that.
We've heard that.
Sure.
But it was, in my case, it wasn't from the previous one, so I was like, this is unusual. And now I'm freaking out about, should I rush myself to the ER? Like, it's now I'm having like a panic attack. And I'm not that type of a person. I'm usually really calm. So I'm like, oh man, what's going on? I go, and the like series of events are kind of weird. I think I went to that I don't really remember. I just know I went back to the doctor, the ultrasound. I call him my ultrasound guru because he's like in the US, everyone knows him. He's like amazing. So I'm like, I went to the ultrasound guru.
Yeah.
And he confirmed that I had a baby, but there was like no yolk sac, and like it was just hadn't developed. So at some point the baby just stopped growing.
Okay.
And I said, well, it kind of makes sense. I was heavily drugged. I was really sick the like first week or two of the baby really getting going.
Sure.
And so he recommended, he said, you can just wait for it to come like out naturally, or you can take some pills and we can bring this forward. So he goes, I recommend you to go to your doctor. So I was trying out this new doctor because, no more midwife for me, at least not that midwife. So now I have a new doctor that was recommended to me, and I made an appointment, and I went, highly recommended to me by 1, 2, or 3 different people. Some coworkers, some colleagues, not necessarily coworkers because I work for myself, but colleagues and other people that just had gone to this woman. So I go see this woman. I had all my paperwork transferred to her office. I told her office people what I was coming in for. I show up. They don't have my paperwork. They don't know why I'm there. They don't know what I'm there for. And I'm like, I got this. I'm smart. I am calm. I was so pissed.
Yeah.
So I see this woman who was highly recommended, and she's like, how can I help you? And I'm like, what?
Don't you already know?
Do you not have my paperwork? And she's like, what paperwork? And I'm like, do you know why I'm here? And she's like, no. And I said, this is what's going on. I believe I'm miscarrying, and I would like to have your assistance so I can speed up the process.
Yeah.
She says, well, during this conversation, it was like only 10 minutes. which to me was ridiculous because when I see a patient for the first time, 10 minutes is like just barely scratching the surface.
Sure.
I'm not
sure.
spending a total of 10 minutes with anybody. I'm spending much more time. She says, well, are you interested? I'm pregnant still. Whether I'm fully miscarrying or not, I'm still pregnant, mind you.
Yeah.
She says, well, have you thought about IVF? And have you thought about
What?
Whoa.
I have this doctor that you can and we're in Los Angeles. We are on the west side of Los Angeles, like
Right.
progressive, I'm
Right.
not
Sure.
in like some weird back alley where it's like one doctor, no one really knows much. One doctor for the whole state or whatever, or like county. So I'm like, what? I'm like, and I'm telling her, I'm a practitioner. I've now that I've confirmed that it is not a viable pregnancy, I'm gonna start needling myself so I can get things going downwards. And she's like, oh, I recommend you to do that. And she was mentioning the going to get IVF, and I'm like, I'm not interested in IVF, and I'm still pregnant. Like,
Yeah,
what
currently
are you
pregnant.
talking about? I'm like,
That's the
and
weirdest
that's not even an
suggestion.
option that I'm exploring. Like, that works for many people, but that's not what my husband and I want. Like, we are fine with if I conceive naturally, great. If I don't, after a certain period of time, I'm just gonna close up shop and call it a day. I'm happy with that. He's happy with that. And so I'm like having to explain myself to this woman, and I'm just like, this is absurd.
Yeah.
And I'm telling her this. I'm like, I'm feeling this is, I'm still not able to vocalize what's going on. Because again, there's so much is happening in a short period of time. So I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
I'm on
And
my
it's
way out of her
scary and
office of those
comforting.
10
Sure.
minutes. And she literally is like, okay. I'm like, okay, so can you prescribe me these pills so I can take them, because I would like to get this completed. I want to finish this pregnancy already. Like, this is dragging on. It's very stressful, and I don't need to wait any longer. This is my decision. Let's move forward. She's like, well, I don't really recommend you to do that. I would recommend you just to needle yourself and to just wait for that process to naturally happen, because it can be
But it's not your decision.
It can be invasive. She's a woman. It can be invasive, and you may
Yes.
not want to subject yourself to that. And I'm like, what? Give me the prescription.
Right.
I'm like holding her by her coat. I'm like, give me the prescription. So
Shake it out.
I this is still 10 minutes, by the way. I go to the front desk and I say, okay, I'd like to make another appointment. And they're like, and she's like, okay, so maybe I'll see you in like a week. And I'm like, no, like, I want to see you tomorrow. Like, what do you mean a week? I have a baby inside of me that I want to get out. It needs to like end it's at this point, it's not even a baby. It's like remnants of tissue. I need to get the remnants out and complete this. Like, I need some peace of mind. And she said, okay, well, all right. So she gave me some other, I was like, if I didn't insist, she would have just had me come in a week later. And I thought, wow, I don't know if this is strange, but it feels very strange to me. The timing, her insensitivity. So whatever the case, I made a schedule for a few days later, and I called my doctors.
With her.
Excuse me. Yes, with her, because
with her,
I at this point I have started treatment with her. I want to complete it, and
Sure,
then
yeah.
I will never go back again. But I want to start and finish there,
Yep.
which I shouldn't have, because in my mind I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't need to go back to her ever again, but I did. Meanwhile, I exit the office that day and I call my ultrasound guru's office, and I'm like, she didn't receive the paperwork. And they're like, oh no, she did. We have it right here. Like, they stamped it, and they're like, we'll send you a copy of when we sent it, and it was received. And I'm just like livid, just so pissed off. Like, how could this happen? This is like so ridiculous. Paper, even when you refill the paper, it comes out and you get what the back order of the faxes that didn't come
Sure.
earlier.
Right,
There is
right,
no
right, right,
excuse.
right.
So I go see her, I don't know, a few days later. She does an ultrasound. She didn't do the ultrasound the first time. She does the ultrasound the second time. And I think I had done the pills at this point. I actually don't remember if she gave me the pills or if I ended up going to my gyno and just having her prescribe them, actually.
Wow.
I think
Okay.
I think it might have led to that. Actually, I think I did. I don't think she gave me, but for some reason I went, because I needed the blood results. And I needed to make sure that my HCG levels were decreasing and what was my progesterone and estrogen levels. And so that's when she did the ultrasound. And that's when I just sat her down and I said, do you mind if I share something with you? My last visit was a nightmare with you. And
Oh, that's
wow.
great that you did.
was,
Yeah.
and I explained to her how I had made every effort to have my paperwork sent, how I was very disappointed with the front desk not listening to why I made an appointment, and for her to not know, and for her to treat me just like a new patient when I had done everything to make sure she knew all of my history. And then for her, how unacceptable it was. And I told her, I kind of came from the standpoint of like, I'm a practitioner. And so I was trying not to be such a bitch because I was entitled to, but I was trying not to be. And I said, also I found it quite inappropriate that you were talking to me about getting IVF while I was still pregnant.
Yeah, yeah.
The timing was completely off. And you weren't even asking me what my needs were. You were just you were kind of going through the motion of like this or that. And I don't know, maybe because I'm on the West Side and it's common, like IVF is very common. So she was just like, well, let's just do it that way. So we can you have one history of a pregnancy loss and now this is your second. So why not just make the baby and you can have everything as good from the beginning. And I'm like,
right.
that's not what I want.
Right.
So anyways,
what was her response to you sort of advocating
she
for
was not
yourself?
very accepting of it. She didn't say anything. I don't even think she apologized, but she did listen, but she listened very like cross arm, cross leg type of thing.
Yeah.
And it was fine. I mean, I wasn't trying to convert her. I was simply trying to express myself because I was feeling so in need of having her understand where I came from. I felt like this probably wasn't the only time that a patient of hers had experienced this. So I kind of felt like I was representing all the other underrepresented people that she had maybe done wrong to.
Sure. Well, and I don't think it's often that women understand that they can, be advocates for themselves especially with medical professionals. And, we do tend to just like, oh, this person is telling me this information. So this is what's truth.
I mean, I feel like everybody's so disempowered when it comes to that dynamic. It's
sure.
I've had so many terrible doctor situations and just been like,
no.
I'm not allowed to say anything, back to this person because they're, the like kind of white coat syndrome or whatever.
Right,
yeah.
And it's just amazing to me the lack of bedside manner or even just humanity that there are a lot of practitioners, Eastern, Western, whatever, that have that. And it's like, you're a healer, you're in a healing profession. At the very least, you should be a good human to other humans. So,
and especially when you're someone who's potentially dealing with grief and loss and
all the above.
To not sort of read that situation is, oh God, I don't know.
Yeah, so that was that, and then I did, I guess, so I went to my regular wonderful doctor, and she gave me these pills, and I had talked to a few people that I knew that had taken these pills, and they explained how they hemorrhage like a mofo. So I was anticipating major bloodshed.
Yeah.
So I went out. I had my friend buy me like the boat-sized pads. And and I
couple mattresses.
it was almost like I was it was a weird experience because I was anticipating like this huge purging of blood. It was, I can't explain it to you any other way than me kind of, it was almost like I was preparing for a death.
Huh.
I was
Wow.
home. I took these pills. I was lying in bed and I was just waiting. And I was waiting and waiting. In my case, I had been shedding tissue and blood for a couple of days now, a week or whatever. I didn't have the major hemorrhaging. It never came. I had
Oh,
a little
interesting.
bit of intense cramping, but I guess it had gradually came out, so there wasn't anything. Like I was expecting what I had heard from people that I knew, large clots,
Yeah,
very
sure.
heavy cramping, all these things. And so I guess I was expecting the worst. My pads were not put to good use, and I was lying in bed for, I don't know, a whole day. And I just
Yeah.
finally said, well, nothing's happening. And I've given it, you take, I don't remember, you take multiple pills and certain time apart. And then nothing happened. So
Wow.
that was that. That was
And so you
pregnancy
guys
too.
built an addition on your house with the pads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Built
They
built an
have
extension off the kitchen.
You've got a panic room now with pads.
No, it's now I have a studio where I can record my voice.
There we go. A she shed.
Yes.
Yes. So that was pregnancy too.
Wow. And you are pregnant now. You're 5 months.
Yes.
You look like a shining fucking goddess. Let me just tell you that.
Thank you. It's been so magical. And talking about this pregnancy also, I had unprotected sex, yes, but I wasn't having sex for a baby. It was after 2016 when we spent 6 months trying to make a baby. I think we were just kind of like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And so this baby formation was very happily made. No
That's
stress.
great.
Yeah.
No, that's
Acrobatics besides just the fun acrobatics.
I love that. That's such a great story for for people to know about making babies. I don't know. It's just like it's just like stress free, fun sex, baby time.
Yeah.
But one thing that I did learn from the second pregnancy, that being a miscarriage, my friend doctor said, Crystal, you are a high risk mother. Your pregnancies are now all high risk. You should have, with this second pregnancy that was now a miscarriage, you should have gone after you missed your period to go get a baseline of blood work. You should have gone to get just what your levels are. So you have a starting point, and then every time you were getting blood work, you would have a gauge and a comparison to see, oh, they're increasing. This is a good sign. Okay, you have an ultrasound, there's a heartbeat. I didn't do any of that the second pregnancy, right?
Crystal, was this because you had a miscarriage, because of your age?
I don't know. I'm assuming just in my case because of my experiences, but I would say for anybody that has that becomes pregnant to really go through this protocol of going to the doctor, getting blood work, and getting an ultrasound, even if you don't want a lot of ultrasounds, which is what I wanted. I didn't want a lot of ultrasounds, which is why I waited so long, just to get that baseline. Yes, there's a heartbeat. Wonderful. And then you can wait a little while longer. If you want to do genetic testing, then you wait to go back and, go through that path. But so I did, this time I was prepared. I didn't even take a pregnancy test. I'm like, I'm pregnant. I missed my period. Okay. So I made an appointment with my doctor. I got blood work, heard the heartbeat. I'm like, all good. And then I just proceeded to, I have a high risk doctor, but I, in essence, don't need him because my pregnancy, fortunately, is very normal. I just happen to be considered a geriatric mom.
The worst.
The worst
The
term ever.
worst
Yeah,
phrase ever.
It's so funny to me. It's like, I don't know any young people that are having babies right now, so everyone's going to be a geriatric.
Oh yeah.
Get your walker.
And we've talked about it before. Like obviously it was like a male doctor who came up with that. It's like, oh yeah, geriatric pregnancy.
Definitely.
Like,
Totally.
bring you in on your walker and your wheelchair.
Totally. So this pregnancy has been really wonderful.
That's great.
I'm at 21 weeks tomorrow, and I am due in December. I've gained 10 pounds, and the first trimester I was a little worried because I only gained 1 pound, and I was not sure how much to gain, and my doctor was like, as long as you gain something, that's good. But I'm also petite. I weigh 100 pounds pre-baby. So, I mean, I know some people gain a significant amount, but based on my metabolism history, I have been consistent with that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you've gained a 10th more of your human.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Well, Crystal, congratulations. We are like so thrilled for you.
Thank you for having me. It's been
Of
really
course.
fun talking and kind of revisiting these different stories of my life to get to this point.
Yeah, when these stories are really, I mean, really helpful for us, really helpful, hopefully for people in our audience. And they're just, and I appreciate your level of detail with talking about the, you know, I don't know, intimate moments with doctors and things that went well and things that didn't go so well. Yeah. I really appreciate that.
That's really life. I mean, that's one thing that I'm really candid with people in my life and also my patients, because I don't like to censor things. I'm not here to decide what I think you want to hear. I'm going to tell you, and if you don't like it, then you can find another practitioner or another friend or another podcast.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I like to give it the way it is, but with a very cheery attitude and a very positive attitude. I'm grateful that I have this outlook and I don't feel defeated. And I'm in closing on this pregnancy, I will tell you, there have been moments, mainly when I've been buying things for the pregnancy and baby, that I do get a little traumatized and think, oh my gosh, what if I do have another pregnancy loss? And the reality is it could happen, but what am I going to do? Mope over what hasn't happened, what may never happen?
Right.
And I can only base it on how I feel now. And I'm doing everything possible to have a healthy baby in pregnancy, and that's all I can do. So that has been kind of like full circle for me to just really be in the moment, because I know you can get pregnant many times and not have a baby. And I know many people that don't ever have a baby, so I'm grateful that it was in my cards, but I also was okay with it not being in my cards, because I never felt like it defined me. I never felt like having a baby or getting married would define me. So these were things that were just bonuses, but I was totally fine with my life as it was. So these are just nice extra gifts.
Yeah.
Will you humor us with an extra gift? Actually, 5 extra gifts?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you going to ask away?
Oh, I forgot the question.
Yeah, so we've got, we like to do with our guests, we like to ask their 5 favorites.
Yes.
A little tongue-in-cheeky on some of them, and one of them actually is very relevant to what you were talking about. So we're just going to rapid fire these questions at you, yeah? So your 5 favorites. First one is your favorite interaction with a healthcare provider.
So my gynecologist. I have referred her, so many people, my patients, friends to her. She came referred through my friend. She's a medical doctor. She spends like an hour with you every time.
Nice. Yes.
Unheard of.
Amazing.
And she's in Beverly Hills. Unheard of.
Amazing.
Fancy and full of time. I love that.
Mikey, you want to take her to the second?
Okay, next up, your favorite 90s makeout song.
I don't necessarily recall making out to this song, but it was a song that I played over and over and over and over.
Perfect.
It was or is the Bump and Grind remix.
Yes,
A not
it is.
not so popular artist right now who is a pedophile.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is very talented. I just will not acknowledge his name because he doesn't deserve that. But he's
doesn't
so
deserve-
talented. Such
He
great
has-
songs.
Yeah,
God, he's got some gems.
I know his
He really does.
catalog. His catalog was really strong.
Oh, it's rich.
Yes.
Yeah, it's rich.
Yes. Just like
Um,
Michael Jackson.
yes.
right. How about your favorite swear word?
Definitely fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of doesn't get better.
It's the classic.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm a cusser, so I cuss even with my patients. So
Fuck yeah.
they're used to it. I mean, I don't have kid patients, so they just kind of are like, I say it with a smile, and they're just like,
Yeah.
Did she just say that? I'm not sure.
I fucking did. Hey.
That's fucking right.
Okay, 2 more questions. 1, what is your favorite eat your feelings snack? What's your favorite snack to eat when you're feeling a little low?
In general, potatoes, anything potatoes, but that's just
sure.
And it's not even feeling low. Like that's my, if I had one last meal, it would have to be something with potatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
So feel you.
I'm like, my past life, I was Peruvian and Irish.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay, last one. We're gonna get political. Your favorite 2020 candidate?
So I don't have a favorite, but I do like Kamala. I do like Buttigieg, and I do like Bernie. But
Yeah.
I have to hear more.
Can we roll all 3 of them up into one and make it?
Yeah,
make it
seriously.
third?
Seriously, because they are really strong. Like they've got really good points.
Yeah, maybe we could Transformers the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. We could just morph them into this wonderful candidate.
Yeah.
I like that.
And, yeah, I don't want to say anything else about the current administration, but I will say I have a candle
Yeah.
that is of our current sitting president. And would you like to see it?
I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
of
now
course.
we have to see it.
It's-
This is the only
it's-
way to close.
So great.
Is it Donald Trump melting? Is it a melting head, Donald Trump?
Mm.
Is it his pants on fire?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yes.
But wait till you look at this. Look at the angles.
Wow.
It's like, and he's orange yellow.
Oh yeah, it's for real.
But
God, that thing is.
wait till you read what it says. Can you read?
Oh, put it. There we go.
It's just a matter of time.
That's
wow.
solid.
He is
For
still
that are
solid
listening with
because
ears
my
and not
husband won't
eyes.
let me burn him
Okay.
until he's no longer president.
That's great.
And he's gonna burn
That was a beautiful
whole
thing.
in one complete burn.
I love
Wow.
it. That'll be
Love
great. Listen, this was so fun having you on, Crystal. Let's meet up in person sometime.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I talk a lot, but I just have so much to say. So thanks for being
Really?
patient with me.
Yeah. No, we really appreciate you being so forthcoming and vulnerable and funny and sweet and all the things
Yeah.
that you are. So
Well,
thank
it's
you.
Life. It's life.
Thank you for telling your life story.
Yes. My pregnant life story.
Yeah.
Good luck with that baby.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.